a few scenes in Foundry had caused some issues for me. So we're back. As we left, they had just opened that, sliding stone door here, and opened into a large cavern or catacomb of some sort. As the air rushes past you, you get the smell of dust and stale air, and you don't see or hear any of those footprints. Footprints. Why am I doing that? Footsteps from earlier. As you peer out into this cavern here.
As I look around at this big cavern, do I notice similar insignia to the rose before, or any insignia that I might recognize?
So as you're looking around, you do see up ahead there seems to be some candles. If you'll take a few steps forward here, around a symbol that's almost a rose. It looks close enough from where you are. Go ahead and give me a perception here.
Okay.
I kind of want to sniff
Perception.
around the area, see if I can smell anything.
That's a big fat 8.
Ah, I see. So you're not intimately familiar with, what it might look like from above, but it looks like a red runic mark or something of that line, surrounded by candles. You don't get anything much more than that, however.
I sniff around the area, see if I can smell anything.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception as well.
Yep. 19.
19, thank you. All right, so with that 19, you will hear what sounds to be footprints before, as you realize everyone can, the echoing throughout this room here, coming from further up ahead. And you do hear the plate boots of those men, often in a side passage just up ahead. They seem to be attempting to remain quiet.
I'm going to. I put my finger up to my lips and go, shh, nearby. And I'm going to kind of try to stay stealthy. 13.
Okay. So you think you're being as quiet as you possibly can. As you scout ahead a few squares, go ahead and move yourself. All right. As you're looking around, you're getting closer to the sound. It sounds like it's coming from just up the stairs. You're almost there. You
Before
dare to
we
get
go any
closer?
further,
Mm-hmm.
um, I kind of touch my chest, kind of like in a way that nobody behind me would be able to see, as a bit of blood begins to like come out of my mouth and wrap around my fingers as I cast mana life tap.
Okay, so as you cast Life Tap.
So I lose 1d4 HP and gain that much mana.
All right. So you lose 4 HP to get 4 mana. That's a really good trade. So you feel revitalized, although maybe a bit less healthy than before. So do you dare to press ahead, Pack, as all of the heavier armored folks are standing as still as they possibly can? Let me make my roll. Nothing seems to happen as you've stepped as far as you have at the moment. Do you continue, Pack? I didn't see any movement or hear you
Oh,
talk.
my mic was off. I wave back at my companions as if to like kind of say form up without saying anything.
All right, so you see obscure hand gestures from Pack here, who has a limited experience with it
Do
from his own kind.
I understand what he's trying to say?
Me,
Uh,
you cutting out?
you were cutting
Do
out
I
there. I
understand what he's trying to say?
believe you were asking, yes. So you recognize that he seems to be doing something with his fingers, kind of beckoning you towards him, but he's drawing a circle, like form up, maybe? It's not
Okay.
hand signs you've seen before, given your
Can I
history.
Oh,
just use? I'm gonna try and use message on Pack and and ask him in what's the name of that language? I can't say that word.
Piktar?
Piktar. What is he saying?
So you get this buzzing in your ear that sounds remarkably like Andrew's voice asking you what you're saying.
Form up.
All right.
They're
So,
up the stairs.
so you get a rather simplistic reply. Form up, they're up the stairs.
Okay, that I whisper that to Marcus, and then I turn to Gomni, and I say, "They're up the stairs."
All right. As while you guys are communicating with each other, I'm going to go ahead and. All right. So you'll hear some low clapping coming from up the stairs here. Well, come
Like
on.
clapping, like
No need to waste my time. As you hear an
talking to
offended
us.
voice. Yep. Does appear to be.
They know back
Ooh,
here.
I don't
You're cutting out terribly today, Marcus.
like it. I don't like.
So you just start panicking a bit. I don't like it. I don't like it. How can you
I
not
look
like it
back
before
at
you've
them.
even seen it? It's quite
I look
beautiful, you
back.
know.
I look back at my companions and I whisper, "They know back here."
I think you're right, lad. I think we've been made.
I think they know we're all here.
As some time begins to pass before, as you stay where you are, as you hear metal boots on stone coming
Told you,
closer.
should have left that conjuring thing.
As I just kind
I'm gonna hide behind a pillar.
All right. As you step behind a pillar.
I just walked forward with Sorry at my side. Come on, Andrew. There's no point in trying to hide.
I mean, we all could hide, and then that I could
All
cast a
right.
spell. Everybody should hide. Everybody hide. Everybody hide.
As
You
those
realize I'm in heavy armor.
You better figure it out.
As you guys are all talking amongst yourselves, those footsteps do get closer and closer until they crest over the top of these stairs here, bringing the figure into sight. Maybe. As you see a woman with red hair beckoning towards you all. You're honestly thinking about wasting my time hiding again when I know you're here? As you realize she has red hair and violet eyes, looking over each of you in turn, and Pack pressing himself up against the pillar with that critical. Oh, I know. Here, as she puts her hand over her eyes. Go ahead, hide. But if I find you, you're not going to like it. Or we can talk, as she jokingly brings her hand back down. Up to you.
I kind of lean into
had.
I kind of lean into Gomni and kind of whisper in his ear. So do we rush her or what?
Let's give her a chance.
All right. Well, speak. We're listening.
You killed a few of my boys, which is a bit annoying, but they're easily replaceable. As she kind of, offhandedly, as she reaches for a few daggers on her hip here and starts twirling them in her hands. Now,
Action for anything now.
I don't really think you're in a place to do much of the talking. As you hear her, as she
You're
just
clearly
claps.
outnumbered, so I disagree.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? As she claps her hands, and men show up alongside her. Looks like 10 of them in total, giving her some space here in the center. You would think,
Big
but
rough.
not exactly. Although, I suppose you do have one more dog than we have, as she kind of cocks her head at you. You've killed a few of my boys, stopped a couple of my operations. You're just some bleeding heart adventurers, aren't you? She gives you a quizzical gaze.
I don't tend to like it when people extort and steal from others, generally.
Oh, you're... Stealing's kind of a harsh word. I mean, he basically threatens the miners who bring him the material, under threat of running them out of town, just a few refugees. And if you're talking about that bar, he was painting the flowers long before we got there. See, that's the thing you'll realize. Nobody in Freehold is really innocent. Not an old lady selling pies on the street or any one of the Dragonborn families. They all have their dirt. I mean, they built this place. As you look around, you see iron chains on the wall and what looks to be torture tools lined away. Maybe 10-year-old chains. People who quit paying the protection money inevitably end up down here. We offered to take that over for a cut of it. They decided to raise the price. That's not on us. Working for the House of Shadows is lucrative, as she pats a pouch on her hip here, jingling with coins. So, instead of having to lose a few more of my disposable goons, I could just pay you a few silvers, and you can forget you saw this place. What do you say?
I'm scared. Let's do what she says. First the conjuration, and now this.
The problem is that let's be real. You're not now that we've seen your place. You're not letting us walk out of here alive. There's no amount of silvers that you're going to pay us that we'd
I'm
actually
gonna interrupt
believe.
him. Ignore my dumb brother. We were just leaving, and I'm gonna try and grab Marcus.
He does bring up a fairly good point. That said, I believe it's Marcus, Andrew, Gomni, Pack, right? As Pack, in your pocket, you feel something warm pressing against your leg.
Warm, shiny.
As you realize the coin, its magic aura was equivalent to a sending stone because it sort of is. Functions as a sending stone one way and it's always on. I've heard quite a bit about your fun little group. It's always a pretty good scheme, isn't it? Leaving behind a little trinket like that. Get some information. If I let you go, you could tell who exactly. I mean, maybe maybe the House of the Blood. They might shelter you. But nobody really likes messing with the House of Shadows. As you look over, you do see a strange insignia on her arm. On her left chest here, on her left shoulder, she does have that blackened rose. And on the right, she has what looks like an outline of a shadowy creature of some kind looming over her other shoulder here. But hey, I'd be willing to let you go, I suppose. Maybe a coin or two, keep you to shut up and not go to the House of the Blood. What do you say?
You don't need to give us any coin. We were just leaving. And I'm gonna slowly start walking towards the door.
You said there's 10 of them here?
Well, 11 including me.
I was asking you, DM, not her.
It sounded like 10 pairs of footsteps showed up
How
behind
many do I see?
you. See 4. No, 5
Can roll
including her.
can I roll a perception?
Sure. Mm, 11. You see what your token sees at the moment.
There's not that many of them. We can take them. It depends on how many coins we're talking, though.
As you hear those footprints get closer. There's not that many, I suppose. You're right. I could say maybe I could give you each 2 silver pieces. Doesn't put me that far in the hole, and I'm sure you grabbed something similar off my guards.
Oh, but that's a lot less than what your friend is paying you in order for us to hunt you down.
Well, that's my offer. As she taps her dagger against her coin pouch. You can choose the left, as she gestures to the coins, or you can choose the right, as she holds the daggers up.
So, does she have all 3 daggers in one hand?
She has 2 in her right hand at the moment, but there are a
Okay.
number of them still on her belt.
From any of those books I read, would I know anything about why there's a shadowy figure over her left shoulder?
Sure, roll knowledge history. See if you recognize the emblem.
All right, 1 second. 21, I think, right?
21, you think?
Yeah, I got 21.
All right. So as you kind of think back, you remember there was a bit of a shadowy organization back home, called the Gilded Rose, and they did have some subdivisions, but they never had a Black Rose. Maybe some people left Korisk and made their way over here. Um, But as for that emblem, that one is specifically related to the House of Shadows, a dragonborn house that's been in Freehold since its founding, 200 years ago. They were one of the 3 big families that helped down some roots and sort of created this bastion against the Rakar Empire. They handle a lot of the less honorable things that they had to get done to create this power base here.
Marcus. She's crazy.
She's crazy. You do know they don't typically bring in a ton of talent compared to the other houses that seem to recruit pretty much as often as they can. Um, but you don't ever really see the people uh, that do get recruited after their induction ceremony. That's
I
what
say we just get on out of here.
Well, come to a consensus. You're taking up precious time, you know. A lot of work to get done. And as she gives you a begrudging nod
Fuck
of,
it. I'm not. As I kind of look at Andrew, I look at Gomni. I'm not running from another one of these fucks, as I am going to cast Life Leech on her.
okay. Sounds good. Go ahead.
Right. So let's do a ranged touch attack. D20 plus 4. So does a 17 hit her touch AC?
A 17 will hit her touch AC, if that surprises anyone. So go ahead and roll that damage.
That's going to be 8 points of damage, and then I will, because of my lone wolf trait, I will heal for that much.
All right. As the energy leaches into you, she gives you a quizzical look. Now that's interesting. I haven't seen one of you in a while. This could be a bit of fun. As everyone roll
And you won't see
initiative.
another one. Good, I needed that heal before we started this fight.
Well, surprise rounds be like that.
6.
18.
All right.
21.
Nice.
Hey,
21.
the dice gods of Foundry liked me today, I assume.
Foundry not very kind to me ever, but the glorious part is being the DM lets you roll in person. So,
Jealous.
Pack, you got a 6.
Wait, somebody change the dice.
No,
Yes!
no one changed my dice. These are good dice.
Somebody redeem 400 points!
Gomni, what
Or
was your
500
initiative?
points, whatever it is.
Should just be. I always forget where it is on the sheet.
You're fine. We are still getting used to Foundry after all.
Denim.
All right. Gomni with that solid 9.
I'd like to acknowledge
Yeah.
that he rolled almost 3 times higher than me as well.
All right, so. All right. Well, that's kind of a shame. She looks no worse for the wear before she will throw 2 daggers at you here, Marcus. Someone switch these dice. A critical on the first one, and then does a 14 hit your AC? Does a 14 hit your AC, Marcus?
A 14 does not.
Okay, all right. So the first one with that critical, that's going to be. So that's going to be 12 points of damage.
14 does not hit my AC.
Yes, so it was two daggers, a crit, and a 14. The 14 didn't hit. The first dagger sunk in pretty unerringly towards your chest. Oh, I'm sorry, we should only use one roll for that then, huh? Okay. So just that first one. So first crit of the night, not great. It's going to be 12 points of damage as we roll over to your turn, Marcus.
All right, so 12 points of damage. All right, so there's a kind of. She hits me with the dagger. As I cough up some blood. I am going to. I forgot to roll initiative for Sorry. Do you want her to just go on my turn?
Yeah, that'll
Or do you
work.
want me to roll separately for her?
Go ahead and have her
Okay.
go on your turn for this one. We'll have her roll separately going forward.
Take my 30 steps back, and then I'm going to hit her with another life leech.
All right, go for it.
Okay.
As this eldritch energy rushes out of your fingertips before returning back to you upon a successful blow.
With a 6.
A 6 will not hit her touch AC, unfortunately,
Mm.
as this bolt goes wide. We cut over to Andrew as you realize
I
you're.
still have to go for
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Yep, that's right. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Sorry, we'll just take a 5-foot step forward, and she's going to try to attack.
All right. One of the miscellaneous foot soldiers with her. Understandable.
24.
Yeah, you hit the AC.
All right, she just goes and tries to take a big old claw swipe. I don't have macros set up for her damage yet. It's going to be a 8 points of damage.
All right, not too shabby. As he clutches at the bleeding gash on his leg before raising his long sword threateningly at Sari here. As we're going to cut over to Andrew. It's your turn.
All right, doom. I'm gonna kind of look at Marcus, and I'm gonna be like, "See what you got us into?" And then I'm gonna move about right here, and then kind of like the Arthur meme, I'm going to close my fist, and it's kind of gonna glow white, and I'm going to cast Aura of Strength on everybody.
All right. So as your light
Ooh, what is
blesses
that?
each of them, go ahead and give us those effects.
So, Aura of Strength. So as I'm closing my fist, that my fist is gonna kind of glow white, and all you guys are kind of gonna, feel a little more powerful, and you guys all get advantage on your attack rolls.
All right. As you feel emboldened by Andrew's presence behind you, you realize that none of you are alone here. As that will be your turn, and we are cutting over to a few of the soldiers here.
Okay.
As one of them will duck out of sight, heading backwards. As two of them will go to swing at Sari here. Does a 17 hit Sari's AC?
Does an 18 you said?
17, sorry.
17. Let's see.
Should.
It should. I would think so.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. That hits at her AC.
All right. Then a 15 will not hit as one long sword pierces into Sari's flesh as he lets out a whimper of pain, taking. Wow, max. Okay. So 10 points of damage.
Is she's just very.
As another soldier will move towards Pack here. Two of them. One going for Gomni. Two going for Gomni, sorry. So 2 attacks for you, Pack. 7 or 19.
Yes, 19 hits.
Okay. As you will take 7 points of damage. Gomni, I already know that doesn't hit you. Let's see. Yo, okay. Does a 26 hit you, Gomni?
Yes.
All right. As you take 8 points of damage. As she chuckles
Big
from
rough on
behind
the
the group here.
26.
Yeah. All
You
right.
said how much again?
8 points of damage. So that group of soldiers has gone, we go over to Gomni. What do you do here, taking those blows?
1 second. How do I actually reduce my hit points? I can't figure it out.
You just right click on your token, and then you can go down to the green bar. Blue bar is your Knight's challenges for you.
Yay! Awesome. Well, I'm gonna. How did I get moved? I was in the center. Sorry. I am going to follow that up. Which one actually connected with me?
The one on your left here with Sari, he
Okay.
brought his longsword in along your ribs, while your shield batted away the other swing.
Sure. I am going to follow up as a swing of my own. That's considerably much shorter of a reach, so probably about mid waist.
Okay.
And you said we have advantages on
On attack
the
rolls
hit.
right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
As you hear the distinct sounds of ribs breaking, as he lets out a wordless scream, go ahead and roll that critical damage on your warhammer.
You just hear, fuck yeah, Gomni!
Bellowed out from Marcus in the back as that audible bone pop kind of unnerves the people near him.
My macro's not working. There we go.
All
Not
right.
the macro!
That'd be 22 crit damage.
All right, 22
Jesus
damage
Christ.
as yeah, as you actually see the broken rib shattering out of his other side of his body, collapsing to the ground immediately and wordlessly.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna shield bash the other guy.
All right, roll to hit.
No.
Remember, you do have an advantage, so
Yep. Still a 20.
20 will hit.
Good night, Bubba. All right, you ready?
11.
All right, for 11 points of damage. Excellent. You bastards! As he kind of clutches where you've dented his rather shoddy chainmail here, as much as you can dent chainmail, I suppose. And we're going to come over to Pack, as you see 3 targets in front of you here.
All right, so my right fist begins to glow green. And I'm going to take 2 punches at the guy in front of me and a swift kick to the guy Gomni hit.
All right. As you layer a flurry of blows on the foes in front of you, go ahead and roll those hits. And with advantage, that's going to be a lot of dice. So track your numbers.
Yep.
Monks. Mystics, sorry. All right, 19 will hit. 13
Okay, so
will hit.
that was with the advantage in the first one.
Okay, so that's a hit on the first attack.
And then 16 for the second one.
Miss on the second attack.
Okay. And then the third one.
Yeah,
This one's with a -2, so 22.
that will hit. So a hit on the
Alright,
first
so
and third, and a miss on the second. And you're hitting the guy to your left. I'm sorry, or spreading it out here.
the first one was the first 2 were after the guy directly in front of me, and then the third one was on the guy Gomni hit. So I hit the guy in front of me once, and then the guy Gomni hit.
Got it. All right, go ahead and give me that damage.
Alrighty, and then
All right,
oh, that's without the pluses. Hold on.
no worries.
Actually, I rolled the wrong thing.
I saw
Here you
2d10.
go.
So
There's that one, and then it's 1d10 acid damage. Sorry.
you're fine. 1d10 acid. Which will
So,
be
all
one.
right. Yep.
All right, so barely a trickle of acid, but still acid, seeming to appear out of magic from
And
your
then
hands and feet.
the second hit, or the hit on the guy Gomni hit, is 8 damage.
All right, as he takes a grievous wound, but he manages to right himself, some fury burning in his eyes at watching his friend's life cut short before him. As we will move over to the rear line, where I'm going to. There are 2 arrows whistling towards. Let's see, 2 towards Andrew, 1 towards Marcus, and 1 towards Gomni here. Does a 7 hit you, Andrew?
Nope.
All right. How about a 19?
I'm probably
That's
dead.
not. Is that him or me?
Andrew. There were 2 arrows on Andrew here. As you realize, there are arrows. The one that did hit you, Andrew, is going to be 6 points of damage. And then Marcus, does a 14 hit you?
No.
All right. And then
I haven't
Gomni,
even-
does a 12 hit you?
Haven't even done it yet.
Negative.
All right. Well, they saw you empower your friends, and then Gomni smashed the rib through into another man. So, yeah, nervous. You're a mage. As the arrows kind of splinter off of your heavy armor, you duck out of the way. But you do see Andrew take an arrow to his rib cage here, around his chest area. All right. We come over to Vanessa. She kind of looks at you, Gomni, with an appraising eye. You killed Clive without much difficulty. You sure I can't hire you? You'd be a good replacement.
I don't work for shadow organizations. Thank you.
Was worth a try. As she steps confidently towards you with 2 daggers in each, 1 dagger in each hand. Does a 19 hit you?
No.
Does a 22 hit you?
Just on the nose.
Woo!
Oof.
So you will take 5 points of damage. All right. And we go over to Marcus.
All right. So, is it kind of all right? That's enough of that. As I hold my hand up, and black runes begin to emanate around her feet as they begin to circle around her as I cast Hex. So there's no save, but it doesn't have a direct effect on my turn. So it's a concentration spell. So when I hex her, if anytime I hit her, not everyone, but I hit her hereafter, she takes an extra 1d6 shadow damage, and I get to pick one ability of mine, and give her disadvantage on saves against that ability.
Okay.
So I pick Infernal Vengeance.
All right. So you've hexed her with a combo with an Infernal Vengeance here, as these Eldritch runes appear orbiting around her frame.
And then what I'm going to do with my last one is I'm going to cast Infernal Vengeance. Obviously,
Casting it on Vanessa here.
yes.
All right. So she has disadvantage on the save. Is it a reflex, fortitude, or will?
It is a will save as I cast the spell and flames begin to leap at her feet.
Okay. Well, the disadvantage saved it from a critical success. So does a 15 pass your DC?
So let's see. My charisma is no by 1. My DC is
Okay.
16.
All right. So hit me with that effect. Is it just a damage spell or?
It's just a damage spell. She's going to take 17 points.
All right. A rather massive blow, all things considered.
Shadow damage as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the 1d6. Thank you. I forgot.
I rolled it for you. I can not do that if you want.
No, you're fine. If you rolled it, I'm cool with it.
All right. I rolled one higher than
I
you, so
forgot.
you're welcome.
Yes.
Extra damage.
So 20 points total as she just leaps in flame.
As you do this, the flame seems to spread up and along her face before she clutches one of her eyes, shaking it off and turning back to you all in rage. As we come over to Andrew. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. Good point. As Sari looks around, a gleam of intelligence in her eyes, as she is going to take a 5-foot step over here and try to, since she hasn't So she's gonna try to take a bite out of her now.
Okay.
Doesn't hit with an 8.
No, unfortunately not.
Nope. And that's Sari's turn.
Okay. So we come over to Andrew. As you realize there is a
Andrew,
arrow sticking out of your chest here, but you maintain your
Andrew,
focus on the magic.
Andrew's
Gotta
going
pull
to,
that arrow out.
and then I'm going to reach onto my rib and pull it out.
Okay. All right. So let me see. As you do that, do you pull it out or push it through? I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna pull it out.
Okay. So you are going to take 1 bleed damage there, as it was pretty in there well, but the hole is open and bleeding slightly.
Okay. So you said I take 1 bleed damage.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, when I move over here next to Marcus, give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
I am going to take my hand and put it over where my wound is, and it's going to turn red, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right. So your flesh stitches back together in a rather ugly display as you regain some of your health. Go ahead and roll that here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Nice roll.
All right. Good heal. So as you restore 9 points of health.
And then I'm going to turn to Marcus and say, "Man, that freaking hurt."
It's the first time you've taken an arrow. I think it is.
I'll do that again.
First time he's taken an arrow. I really do need to train these boys. As with the flames flickering out, Vanessa looks relatively worse for wear.
It's all right.
Sorry, it's
It'll
alright.
be his last too, because I'm gonna kill you all.
Hmm.
Don't touch my brother.
Archers, you know what to do. She gives you a wicked grin. Alright.
All right. So since he's standing right next to me, can I pass him my shield?
You won't have your movement on your turn, but I'll allow it.
Andrew, hold this. As I go to pass him my shield, try to use it to block the arrows.
Alright. So let's see. You bards are not typically proficient with shields. To my knowledge, we did not give them shield proficiency, but
They are not.
I'll give him half the AC bonus of the shield.
Okay.
So if it normally gives 2 AC, it gives 1. What's your shield give?
3.
Alright, so we round up in this game. It's going to give you 2 AC.
Okay. Sweet. So my AC still sucks, but
But it sucks less. Alright.
it still sucks, but it sucks less.
Alright, the melee troops here. These 2 soldiers are going to go after Sari here. 2 at Pack, and 1 goes to swing at Gomni before Vanessa gives him a venomous glare, and he goes to Pack. So starting with the 2 for Sari here, 21 and 7. Does the 21 hit? Marcus, does that 21 hit?
For sorry, a 21 hit. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So Sari is going to take 9 points of damage.
Yes, it does.
So Sari takes 9 points of damage. Did you catch that? Sorry.
Yes, it did.
All right. We're going to come over to Pack, who's taking 3 swings from a longsword here. Does an 18 hit you, Pack?
No.
How about a 21?
Yes.
How about a 9?
No.
All right. So you'll take 1 swing, ducking out of the way of the other 2, as you still manage to take avoid a decent amount, but you'll still take 8 damage.
Parry.
All right. Go ahead and roll that parry. It's a D6 plus your dex.
Oh, plus my dex. Wait, how much damage did I take?
You took 8.
I took no damage.
All right. So you bat the longsword aside as the other 2 kind of glare at you, missing by a mile. As we come over to Gomni.
At this point, by the way, Sari is bleeding profusely and kind of almost lagging down to the ground.
Most definitely. All right, Gomni, you're up.
Well, seeing that not really able to help the poor dog, but I'm gonna give a nice uh, eye through my helmet at the lady and just kind of give her that shall we dance together, and then I will issue a knight's challenge,
All right.
or would
Ooh.
be a fighter's
Ooh.
challenge as well.
All
Is
right.
the only other.
So that's normally a will save, right?
As far as I can see, it doesn't say.
Okay, no
As a
problem.
swift action, can issue a challenge against a single opponent if the target meets the conditions for Knight's Challenge. I gain a
Ooh.
+1 morale bonus on will
DM swap
saves,
dice.
as well as attack and damage rolls.
As the even if there was
There is
one,
no
she
save. There
accepts
is
your.
no save.
Got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
not
Even
for
if there
fighting
was
children.
one, she kind of mockingly bows with her daggers in her hands. While she does that, her cloak kind of billows open. Go ahead and roll perception.
16.
All right. So you see two potions, one on each side. One is red and the other is blue. Just as the cloak comes down and she narrows her eyes at you, it is still your turn. I believe that takes your swift, but you can still swing if you want.
It does. Does take my swift action. Now, with my swift action put on, I can't follow up with the shield bash, correct?
So
Or is it
it's
fully
part of a
active?
full round, which is only your movement and your standard. So as long as you still have both of those, which you do, you can still full round.
Okay, and we still have the advantage from Andrew as well.
I do believe the duration is a couple more rounds yet, so yes.
So it'd be a 19 on the first swing.
All right. So a 19 on the first one, that will hit as she brings her daggers up to try to bat it aside here. So go ahead and roll your damage. All right, so 12 damage from the Warhammer there.
Plus the +1 from the actual fighter's challenge as well.
Okay, so 13, got it. So as she does manage to block the majority of the damage here, but a few does get through as the sparks from the weapon kind of hit her in the face.
And then we follow up with a shield.
Woo!
So it'd be a 25 or a 19. It was,
Well, the 25 will definitely hit, so go ahead and roll your damage with your shield.
and then that would be a 10 total.
All right, 10 total. So she takes 10. All right, as you get in a few good swings here, and it comes over. She's breathing considerably heavier as we come over to the archer soldiers, still obeying the order. Those that can, anyway, still obeying the order that she had given. Take aim at Andrew here. That would be 3 of them. The other one is going to notice her state of affairs and try to shoot at Gomni. That doesn't hit. Does a 17 hit you, Andrew, with your new shield bonus? Andrew, does a 17 hit you?
Yeah.
Okay. And does a 14 hit you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So both of those will hit you, but I do have to swap my dice. So give me 1 second before I roll damage. So you guys can see, switching the dice. Man, I just got those dice, and I gotta switch over again. It's fine.
Haha.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are very sad.
Yes.
All right.
I'm so disappointed.
Ye olden box of dice. Give me just one moment. All right. See, what they don't know is now I'm grabbing the cheating dice. It's fine. All right. Got what I needed. And that was 2 arrows hit you successfully here. So we are going to go ahead and roll that damage now. So on the first arrow, you're going to take 5 points of damage. And on the second, you're going to take 7.
Okay.
Are you still up?
Yeah.
As I just see him get pierced twice, and I'm like, Andrew!
I thought you said that was going to be the last one to hit him, didn't you? As she kind of laughs. And Gomni, I don't think it does, but does a 7 hit you?
No.
Alright, well, a man can try. As we come over
Goodbye
to
for that bitch.
Pack.
All right, at this point, I'm visibly upset that they keep trying to hit Pack, and I'm going to. My hand lights up green again, and I'm going to take 2 swings at the guy in front of me and a swift kick to the guy to the left again.
Alright.
And I forgot to mention Primal Savagery. It is a melee touch attack for the first one.
Okay.
Backpack, I choose you.
No law. Oh, wait.
So
Advantage? 13.
13 for a touch attack.
So you will tie, which does mean you succeed. Go ahead and hit that guy in front of you.
Alrighty, and then second attack, 19,
That'll also hit.
and then the third attack for the guy on the left. This one is at -2, so 21.
21 will hit the guy on the left there.
All right. So the guy in front of me takes, and then 6 plus 3 acid damage.
Right.
And then for the second attack to the guy in front of me, takes 5 damage.
Okay. As he lets out groans as the acid eats into his face, his chest. Rather grisly sight, but he collapses to the ground, his chainmail ruined.
And then the guy to the left of me, I'm going to jump up and do a swift roundhouse kick to his face
Alright.
for 7 damage.
Alright. As he goes flying backwards, and dies as well, as he was at 1 from before, leaving just the guy on your right and the 2 to the left of Sari here as far as melee combatants, and of course Vanessa.
I whip my head to the right and I stare directly at the guy and go, "Don't touch Pack."
I'm more afraid of her than I am of you, as he keeps his longsword even. Speaking of the person in general, as it is her turn here, she looks and sees that Sari and Gomni are in her face here, and she's going to go ahead and use her disengage feat to get some distance before tossing 2 daggers at Gomni. A crit on the first one, and 14. I don't think a 14 hits you, Gomni.
No, 14 doesn't.
Too bad you don't have fortification. It's not too bad. So it looks like it will be 9 points of damage on that dagger, as it seems to slip between your shield and your hammer.
I am definitely getting low.
As she's panting rather heavily. It didn't have to be like this, you know. As she's taken some sanctuary just a little bit out of sight.
You're right. It didn't have to be like this. You made it this way.
And we come over to Marcus.
Okay, so I can't see her anymore. I know because she's on elevated on the map. We can't see anyway, but so I can't see her at all.
You can roll perception. It's not terribly difficult to beat.
I can see her. I can cast spells at her.
Yeah.
This is my question. Okay.
Yeah, you see her. As you realize she tried to duck down and use the elevation to her to help her here. You see her at the top of the stairs, just ducked down a little bit. The flash of red hair visible to you from where you are. Don't know why the vision.
So she's invisible to me from where I am?
No, she is visible from where you are. Not sure why
Okay.
the lighting's not
So
cooperating, but.
All right. Well, then I'll take a 5-foot step over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, "That's enough from you, woman. This is where you die." Is first I'm going to cast Life Leech.
Mhm.
I've been forgetting to add my base attack to that because it's Dex plus base attack, so it's 5, not a 4.
Well, touch AC is touch AC. Yeah. God, Foundry likes you. All right.
It does today. So a 23 on that. As for a whopping 4.
All right. Not stellar, but that's all right.
And then I'm going to life tap.
Okay. change life into mana. As you feel your blood almost evaporate into usable energy around you. Not a lot by that one there, but some.
Hey, one is relevant.
That's true.
As I just throw out that life leech at her, and then I just touch myself as blood kind of drips down my chin, swirls around my finger, and then it begins to glow with a violet light.
All right.
And it's Sari's turn. So Sari is going to just take a bit back and try to bite into the one right next to her.
All right.
13.
Sorry should still currently be buffed, so make sure you factor in that advantage.
Ooh, yes, the advantage. I appreciate that. 16.
So 16 will miss, but not by much.
She just, ow! But she's clearly injured and she's limping,
Mhm.
and that's why she misses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. And we come over to the melee soldiers here. As this one will stand in front of Vanessa here, try to prevent any further aims, much like you did for Andrew here. As the other will swing at Sari and one at Pack as he goes in for a power attack here. Let's see, 19 plus 23 to hit you, Pack.
Yeah.
All right. So that will be D8. Okay, so you're going to take 11 points of damage from that swing.
Parry.
Oof.
I take 3 damage.
All right, you take 3 damage from that swing. And we come over to... As the soldier in the back, you hear what sounds like an uncorking of a potion bottle before some color is restored to Vanessa's face.
I don't like it. It's fine.
Okay. And we come over to Andrew, as you see your brother's broad frame in front of you, trying to prevent any more arrows from coming towards you.
Heal yourself, Andrew. I saw that you can what you can do. Take care of your wounds.
Okay, I heal myself again.
Gomni and Andrew tanking this whole fight. That's a good heal. As you roll the maximum heal you can, your body glows with light as your wounds
And
seem to stitch
and
themselves
I'm
over.
going to move.
If you can get up and hide behind Gomni, one of them could use that same healing magic next turn.
That will give
I'm
you
over
half
here.
cover behind those pillars there.
Yeah, I'm over here. I don't know what you talking about.
As you see him duck behind a fallen pillar, the ambient light enough for you to make out his frame. All right, and we come over to Gomni. As there's a new combatant in front of you as Vanessa's catching her breath, tossing aside the empty red potion.
I don't see anybody in front of Gomni.
It's because of the shadowing.
Yeah, I need to fix
Well-
that. I'm getting map making still a little new. I'll get better at it as we go.
Fair enough.
So,
He's just for reference. He's only 10 feet in front of you. So
um, before I actually approach him, I'm going to set the hammer on the ground, chuck a hand axe to the guy that's currently attacking the dog.
okay.
Okay.
One, maybe 14.
So 14 will not hit his AC as you see it bounce off of his armor here.
Gotcha. Well, I had to try. And then I will. There's not really much else I can do other than pick up my grab a hold of the mace again.
All right, so you pick your hammer back up off the ground. So if you used your standard, do you want to continue to move, or are you holding your position here?
Yeah, let's see, standard action. Let's go ahead and just because I'm ballsy enough, let's go ahead and I don't know why there's a thing. There we go.
You want to move him one more forward so that way we can see that room too? And just move
It
them all back one?
should let you see now, right? Let me see.
I mean,
I'll just creep up here so that way the stream can see.
Just want to make sure it's actually showing.
It's showing on the stream now.
All right, there we
I've seen
go.
it up there.
Perfect. And just to differentiate where the ranged ones are, sorry about the trouble there. There you go. As you do see the longbow wielders that you have been raining down arrows on you all. As he kind of meets your charge with grim determination. I know you're not swinging at the moment, but he didn't expect you'd run at him without doing so he's a bit confused. All right. Okay. So we are finished with Gomni's turn. It's going to be the ranged soldiers here.
Okay,
So
I'm not
let's-
actually
I
there.
know.
I'm just there for the stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
neither you or Andrew are actually there. They can't hit Andrew. They've noticed it's practically futile to try to hit Gandhi with their arrows, given their pluses here. Pack, as you will be rained on by, let's see, 2 arrows and 2 for Sari. Does a 14 hit Sari's AC?
Nope.
How about a 16?
Oh. No, by 1.
All right. Pack, does a 19 hit your AC?
Yeah.
How about a 12?
No.
All right. Too bad you can't parry arrows, huh?
You're right.
As one will sink into your shoulder, the length of combat wearing you down over time, and you will take 5 points of damage.
How you feeling over there, Pack?
Pack hurt.
This pitiful voice answers back to you in Free Marcher. All right. As the archers have taken their stand, and Pack, it's now your turn. There's one man still to your right here wielding a longsword, and you do see those few men up there wielding melee weapons. Or longbows. Sorry.
My fist begins to light up green, and I'm gonna punch this dude twice.
All right.
Do it.
So you go to layer in hammer blow after hammer blow. Bit of desperation fueling
That's
you
funny.
as you crit.
Alright, second attack would be either a crit fail or a 22.
Oh man. All right.
So good, Andrew. Good job.
Yep, for real. Buffs. All right, so go ahead and roll that critical damage. Remember, it's just your physical damage that's doubled.
So it's tripled because
Okay,
unarmed
yeah,
damage.
unarmed. Yep. 20 times 3.
1d.
They are good weapons.
So 12 plus 6, so 18.
All right, as 18, you absolutely wail into him, his armor splintering under your touch, as he's panting for breath.
Second hit does 5 damage.
As he keels over.
I forgot the acid damage too, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that in there anyway.
All right, his chainmail is ruined. All right, as he collapses to the ground dead, we come back up to the top of the initiative.
Let me put myself back where I was.
Mm-hmm. So
All right.
let's see, Gomni and Pack roll perception, as Vanessa seems to be whispering something to the man in front of her.
14.
Gomni, 12. All right. So Gomni, it's a bit easier for you, you being right there, as you hear her whisper under her breath, "I'm getting out of here. Buy me as much time as you can, Richard." And she does an about face and begins to run up and out of sight.
Oh, no. I thought I went before her.
Nope, she's top of the order. You're right after. As she disappears out of sight. But go ahead, and it is now your turn, Marcus. Do a will
30.
save for being abandoned.
So I cannot see her
Royalties.
anymore?
No, you cannot.
Damn it. Okay. As I'm going to, let's see, I will life leech the one in front of him. As I just kind of throw out those green tendrils of arcane energy as they wrap around him.
Oh, arcane parentheses. Go for it.
Yes. 20
Advantage coming in clutch. Yep, you will hit.
for 16 points of damage, as I will
Jeez.
heal for that much.
Life leech is 2d8. Ugh. So you can only heal for the health he has available, so you'll heal for 8 as he crumbles into ashes.
So then I am okay because I overhealed. All right, and then when he crumples down, I'm going to turn to the other one, and as a swift action, so I'll say the one to the left of Gomni, the first one, I'll cast Infernal Vengeance. That's a will save.
Okay. Let's see. This is a pretty hardy guy, apparently. So a 19 for his will save.
So he'll take half damage.
All right. So 12 half would be 6. So he takes 6. All right. Okay, so we come down to Sari, who has a single man by her.
As she is going to take her attack.
All right, rip and tear. Sorry, get it done.
She will miss, and then she will. She's going to try to run up by my side.
All right, so she is going to take an attack of op as she
That's fine.
exits melee with this guy. Does a 18 hit? Sorry.
Yep, by 1.
Okay. So that's going to be 6 points of damage.
Okay.
Another grievous wound inflicted upon her side as she's moving, leaving trails of blood behind her. As we come over to the melee soldier. Sari's escaped his grasp, Andrew, and you are not actually there. He's going to charge and take a powerful swing at Pack here, who has felled his entire side by his lonesome. Pack does a 18 plus, so minus space tax, so raw strength. Does a 20 hit you?
Yeah.
The nice size is you should parry.
Yeah.
As he's being reckless with this swing. All right, so that's going to be okay. You're parrying 7, so you're still only going to take 3 points of damage.
Oh. Whew. Help back.
As everybody's feeling the strain of combat, we're going to come over to Andrew.
All right, Andrew's gonna come out of hiding, and he's going to try and help Pack. By he's gonna come behind Pack, and he's gonna put his hand on his back, and his hand's gonna glow red, and he's gonna cast heal.
All right.
That was booty.
So the light kind of flickers in your hand as the stress of combat is getting to you, as Pack will heal for 5 points of damage.
Oh, a little better.
All right, which puts us at Gomni. As you look around, there's 4 longbowmen, all of them beginning to train their bows on you.
Sure. At the very least, I'm going to take that side step over to this way, getting with these two, and then hit this first one.
Yeah, I'd say you do with a 25. All right. Staggering 12 points of damage.
For 12, yes.
All right. So this one's panting rather heavily, his bow arm shaking with the effort. And we're coming over to the archers. So first we're going to do the 2 on the right. They're going to launch arrows at you, Gomni. 7 and a 18. Does an 18 hit you? I don't think it does, but
No.
all right. And then this one's going to take a 5-foot step back and try to shoot an arrow at you. Let's see, 21.
We have attacks of op.
Do you have a 10-foot weapon?
No, but it's stepping outside of my reach.
So he's using a 5-foot step.
Usually?
It's sort of like disengage, where it takes his entire movement, but it doesn't provoke an attack of op.
Gotcha.
Does a 20 hit you? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. And the other one, kind of realizing the futility, is going to take a 5-foot step back. Okay. As he drops his bow and pulls out a longsword. That's the end of his round. So we're going to come back to the top with Vanessa out of the picture. That would be Marcus.
Oh, never mind. Don't I go
Nope.
after the
Yeah, you
archers?
definitely do. I completely tried to skip you there, Pack. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I was like, wait, don't I go after the
No, you
archers?
don't get a turn. Sorry, I'm not feeling super great. Um, please go ahead.
All right. Again, my right hand is going to light up green, and I'm going to take 3 swings at the guy in front of me. 1 at the chest, 1 at the private parts, and 1 in the jaw.
All right, just laying
said-
into the pack combo, as it were.
Right.
How long does
So
Ooh,
that
that
advantage
advantage coming
last,
in
by the
clutch.
way?
It's a concentration spell.
Okay.
so 11 for the
Ooh.
melee touch attack.
All right. So 11 does not hit.
Okay. Nat 20
Yeah, now
for
that I
the
think about
second
it, since
attack.
that's a concentration spell, you should have had him do a concentration
Yep,
check when he took
I
damage.
thought about it. All right.
Yep, it's all good.
So
Nat 20 for the second attack,
yep.
or 21 for the third attack.
All right. So the second attack, which was the critical, and the third hit will also hit. So go ahead and roll your
Okay.
damage.
So 9 times 3 is 27.
All right. He's dead. As you're battering his corpse with your next blow.
Ooh, good damage.
um, and then 10 damage for the second one.
All right. As you batter his already, past body here, so he falls to the ground as the others are kind of unnerved now that their beefier members have fallen. We come to the top, which would be Marcus here.
I let out a blood curdling laugh.
All right.
Your leader has left you, and your friends have fallen. Drop your weapons and surrender now, or you all die here.
Roll intimidate.
Yes, I do this thing. 25.
All right. Um. Right. Surrender. As 2 of them will move towards you threateningly, and the other 2 will try to run away. As they did get a 28.
There is no running. As I leech back, I'm gonna launch Infernal Vengeance at one, and I'm gonna launch Life Leech at the other. So let's do. Have I hit one of them yet?
So one of them is panting quite heavily. One of the ones that's rushing you. The 2 that are running away seem to be pretty well off.
All right, then I'm gonna focus both of my attacks on one. Then we'll say the one on the left.
Okay.
I need to set up a macro for my ranged attack. Actually, I think my
They
strength
failed the
and
will
my
save, so you're good to do full damage.
Yeah, okay. So this is my deck, so I do have a macro. All right. Let's see, with advantage on the, so it's a 23 on the life leech.
All right, that will hit.
And the life leech damage will be 6, and then the infernal vengeance damage will be 15. So 21 damage total, and I'll heal for 6 of that.
All right, and this one crumples as the other one continues to move out of sight here.
You can't get away from me. I'll kill you like I did your friend.
Watch me as we go over to Sari here, who's kind of whimpering heavily sitting next to you.
She's hiding behind me. She's just not
Right.
doing anything. She's at 1 HP.
All right. So she backs away, a little unnerved.
As Andrew, as you see, sorry, she's literally like she's blood everywhere, teeth are bashed around, bruised, a second away from just falling unconscious.
She's more red than her original color at this point. Sorry, Andrew, it is your turn. Andrew, did we lose it?
Andrew.
Looks like we've lost Andrew's audio. Sorry about that delay there, guys. Give
Hello.
me. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that, guys. So I see sorry, and I'm going to. Dang, I'm about to be out of MP or mana. I'm going to move over to sorry, and I'm going to put my arms around sorry, and I'm going to heal.
All right, so you go to heal. Sorry.
Did you walk up and heal her again? I think. Okay.
And that is almost all my heals.
All right. So you're starting to pant. This is the most work you've had
Alright.
to do in some time.
When you do that, she kind of.
Go ahead. Nope. Cutting out there, Marcus. Please say that again.
I was just saying that when he goes up to heal her, she of course whinnies and like licks his hands, covering
Alright.
him in like dog saliva.
Perfect. All right. A little heartwarming scene there, as we're going to go ahead and come over to Gomni. As regardless of what they've said, they do appear to be losing a bit of their nerve here.
But you said that these two were approaching Marcus, still threatening.
Yep, these two here.
Yeah.
One's pretty weak. The other seems to be in tip-top condition, but the one directly in front of you is still wielding a longbow. The other one has
Sure.
his longsword out.
Well, I'm gonna slide in between the two of them and hit the one of them in the back of his kneecaps and see what happens.
All right, go for it. So is that the one to your right or the one forward and to the left of you?
It beats the one. Oh, dang! I always hate that. To my right there.
All right, go ahead and swing that devastating Warhammer hit.
Ew.
With
So
neither
he's
of those
probably
will hit him, unfortunately. As he kind of moves quickly and dodges the swing. And you did have to move, so you won't be able to shield bash. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So this one's going to go ahead and take a 5-foot step, the longbow, as it is him next, and going to pop a shot at Marcus here. Does somebody have a DM reroll dice? Nah, it's fine. The bolt, as you turn to watch, Andrew and Sorry, the heartwarming scene of Sorry coming through this okay, and Andrew keeping it. You feel a cold in your chest. As you look down, you realize there's an arrowhead protruding almost all the way through your body. As you take a staggering 17 points of damage. Sorry, 16 points of damage. As you realize this bolt has gone clean through just about. As the one wielding a longsword will try to turn and swing at you,
I just
Gomni.
kind of look over.
Yeah. You just lock eyes with him, and he sees that he made an excellent shot. There's sort of grim determination on his face. Just have to buy time. Just have to buy time. As the other one will completely miss. The blood loss seems to be getting to him as he's barely putting up a fight. Bouncing off of your shield like child's play. As we move over to, let's see here, this would be Pack. So you see this
Alright,
bolt
so
protruding through Marcus's chest.
I don't know if this is going to be a straight line because I can't really see up the stairs. So if this happens
It's
to work
not.
out, hold on,
Oh, that is, yeah.
3, 4. So I'm going to charge. And I'm going to jump up in the air, and I'm going to yell, "You guys go! Pack got these guys!" And I'm gonna punch this guy twice in the face.
All right.
Pack attack.
What?
So
Oh God! All right, we got a
Chat.
pack attack
Woo-hoo!
redeemed in the
Pack
chat.
attack!
All right, nah, you can do better than that. Do it again.
Pack attack!
There you go. As this flying green menace comes approaching this longbowman.
The charge adds a +2, right?
Yes. Charging adds a
So
+2 and reduces your AC by 1.
18 for the melee touch attack on the first hit,
Yep.
and then the second hit is 24.
Yes. Those will both hit.
Alright, so the first hit does 8 plus. So 16 damage, 8 acid damage, and then the second attack does 8 damage as well.
All right. As you leave almost physical imprints of your fist in this guy as he collapses back, blood spurting from his mouth,
I whip my head to look at the last guy, and
who's
I leave this menacing grin on my face.
who's on his last legs as he kind of looks over each of you and then looks behind him, seeing that the people have gotten out of sight. I think that's enough from me. As you hear a crunch as he starts to foam from his mouth. You can roll a heal check.
I'm
Anyone
okay.
can roll a heal check. All right. As he begins to convulse before eventually his breathing stops, blood pooling from his eyes, nose, and ears. You rise victorious, battered and bruised, but no visible combatants left.
Damn it, I hate crazy cultist bastards killing themselves.
Oh. Definitely did not mean to delete everyone. But well
I'm
done.
watching
You
you.
you all kind of catch your breath. Please interact with each other. Your first combat as a group here.
I fall over to the ground and immediately start breathing heavily as I'm just almost dead.
I am looting all the bodies for shinies.
All right.
I rush over to Marcus.
So as you rush over to Marcus, you still see that bolt protruding through his chest. The metal tip maybe a quarter inch out of his skin as he's pierced all the way through.
I'm gonna pull it out and use one of my last 2 healing spells.
All right. So as you do pull it out, or pushing it through at this point, it's all the same. As a blood will pool from the wound, he'll take 1 bleed damage before your heal will kick in.
Alright, give me 1 second.
Sure thing. Ah, all right. So I'm more epic than you has redeemed some extra loot, as well, as something else. Okay. All right. So I don't typically love he had talked to me about Pack yelling Pack attack. That's why we had added it as a channel reward because I didn't want it to be so silly. So thanks for being the first one to redeem that epic. We appreciate it. As Pack, you're going around to loot. You see where the body had fallen. One of the stones almost seems smashed. And there's a bit of glittering underneath this stone.
I kind of just like I move the stone off of the top of it and get a better look.
All right, so as you peel away the remains of this shattered tile here, that glittering seems to be a gem of some kind. It's almost milky white, and it reflects the candlelight to cast what looks like living flames along the walls of its prison here. It almost seems to beckon out to you.
Grab the shiny.
All right, so you grab the shiny, neglecting to look for any further traps or anything, as the It's a Trap.
You trapped the extra loot.
Well, it was redeemed It's a Trap, so I figured I might as well put the trap on the extra loot.
So much.
As an iron spike pierces entirely through your wrist, almost seeming to suck your blood out of your body as you take
Wow.
a staggering 7 points of damage. And I need you to
Thanks,
give me a
Epic.
strength check to rip your arm away, including the gem, from this trap here.
Wow. Thanks, Epic.
Strength check.
Mhm.
19.
All right, so you managed to pull your arm away from it. It leaves a pretty painful wound. It almost seemed to tear as you ripped your arm away, but you do hold that milky white gemstone. It almost pulses with magic as you hold it in your hand.
Shiny.
What'd you find over there?
Shiny stone.
So as you look at it, anyone who sees this can go ahead and give me a knowledge arcana.
I cannot.
All right, well, you can, but other people can't.
I know I
Yeah,
can.
yeah, that's a him thing, and then if he can't pass it, I can do it.
All right, so go for it, Andrew.
I
Wow,
probably did not pass it.
your
So
your learnings is failing you with that
I do
6.
not know anything. I am sorry.
um, it does seem to actually. Wait a second, you're empty of mana right now, right?
I have 2 left.
Not you, Pack.
Yep.
All right,
I
so
guess
as you lift this stone, a kind of rush of power fills you. As you restore 5 mana, as the stone's luster kind of fades a bit.
Oh, Pack can do this now. I place 2 hands to my body, and as I glow brilliant blue in both hands, I cast Cure Wounds twice.
Right. And Marcus, you had mentioned you were going to try to roll a knowledge arcana. Is that right?
yeah, I rolled a 14.
Okay. Perfect. So with a 14, you'll actually have seen one or two of these kicking around before. It's rather rudimentary and of low grade, but it's a mana stone. They act as sort of rechargeable bases to draw from, affectionately referred to as a mage's best friend. You can store, depending on the quality of the gemstone and the arcane runes, an amount of mana that can then be recharged at a later date. With that roll, you're not quite sure how much is held in this thing, but given how little a trickle had poured out and it's already faded in such luster, you'll guess that it's pretty low grade.
I've seen those before. You can use them to store your arcane power away for later. They can be quite handy. Um, for those that have a problem regenerating their arcane power, it could be a useful tool.
And you know they're also relatively fragile and degrade with use. All right. So as you go and scoop up the remains of the treasure here, you'll find a combined 21 silver pieces and
Let me
73
grab the
worms.
party loot. Give me a second.
Sure thing. Let me know.
Um,
Tell you what.
Go ahead.
All right, so you find a combined 21 drakes,
Okay.
74 worms,
Okay.
6 longswords,
Okay.
4 longbows,
Okay.
40 arrows,
Okay.
and let's see how many pieces were busted. So 4 were damaged by acid. So you will find 6 chain shirts.
Got it.
All right. And that's all the loot that seems to be around here. There's an empty glass vial that used to hold a health potion, but hardly relevant.
Meh. By the way, I didn't have a chance to explain it earlier. Sorry, I'm having a bit of audio issues today. But Andrew, when you went to heal me, your magic didn't seem quite as effective on me as it did for everyone else, as I only gained half benefit from it. For those of you guys in the watching, because I have the lone wolf trait, I gain full advantage from my life stealing abilities, but I only gain half healing from other sources, which does include potions and spells.
All right.
Hmm.
Yep, it can be difficult. And there's an improved version where you receive no outside healing, but your own life steal is improved even further. So it's a bit of a gamble, but it's an interesting style of play. That said, we've looted. Before we continue exploring the rest of the room and things of that nature, we are going to go ahead and take a little break here. Myself and Marcus aren't feeling all that well, and we are about due for a break now anyway. So we'll be back at, let's go with 10:40 Central, which gives us about 12 minutes, and we'll see you guys then, okay?
All right, bye.
Yep.
All right, we're back from our break a little bit early here. With a couple of us not feeling super great, we'll probably be ending in about an hour, so we wanted to get through some more of this content here. So we had finished scraping up the loot here and licking our wounds as we continue where we left off just a moment ago, exploring this chamber as you will, or looking for an exit.
Um,
I
after
guess I'll look
she,
around.
yeah, check and see where she took off to, like what direction she ran off with.
Okay, so from you, she ran, yep, there you go. As you're running over there, you're checking what exactly happened, right?
Right.
I got a critical on my perception check.
Okay, so really quickly before we continue with you, Gamni, what were you checking out? The room in general, where she had ran to?
Just in the direction she ran.
Did you hear
Okay.
me? Gunfire.
Yes, I did. I heard that you
I
had crit, but what were you checking specifically? Sorry, we seem to be having
just
some.
the room in general. He's going after
Okay.
her specifically. I'm just looking at the room.
All right, so you're
Oh,
checking around the room in general. You do find a few extra longbows tucked into a corner on the room on the left, and a strange, almost cross-shaped indentation in the wall. Um, it's unlike anything that you've picked up from your travels here, but it does seem to be a cross of some kind. Actually, come to think of it, roll me a raw intelligence here.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Which part? The cross indentation in the wall or a raw intelligence?
That
Marcus, can you hear me okay?
yeah, 6.
All right, so with that raw intelligence,
Yes, I rolled a 6.
it's not terribly difficult here. So just, you remember you did pick up a dagger with a strange curved hilt before. It matches one of the indentations, but you don't seem to have anything on your person that would match one of the others. It's at the knight statue at the very top here. I'll drag you over to where it is.
Well, I'll try to put the dagger in there and
Hmm. So you slot the
see if
dagger in, and
anything
it,
happens.
it fits rather well, but nothing else seems to occur. It looks like it's part of a set.
All right, then I'll take the dagger and I'll put it back in my bag.
All right, so you pocket it again. Comes out with no trouble at all. And
If you guys see anything that looks like a cross, let me know. It appears to be some sort of mechanism that does something here.
all right, and as you Gomni has checked out the directions you'd ran from. Go ahead and roll me your perception with advantage on your stone cunning.
as I'm running up behind Gomni, I'm yeeting that black rose crystal down the stairs.
The other coin you had?
Yeah, the one coin that she basically told us that she could hear us from.
Yep. All right, so you send it careening down the stairs as the light seems to fizzle away from it.
24.
All right, 24. That stone cunning, the advantage really helped you there. As I drag you over to a section of wall, you notice it's a bit thinner, almost hollow compared to the rest of it. What do you do? It seems almost artificial.
Hit it with
All
a
right.
hammer.
So you whack it with your hammer as it caves under the force. You see it could have slid away into the panel in the stone wall there, but you smash it away just the same, as it reveals a ladder going up and up. It looks like it heads topside.
Oi! I found the ladder. She went this way.
All right. So he
I'll
yells
follow
out.
you.
There you go. All right. So
Well,
you're scrambling
but
up.
before we actually go up there, I need to go all the way back down to the bottom of the staircase and retrieve an axe. But other than that,
All right. So you spend a minute running back on your stubby dwarf legs to go pick up your stuff. As they all kind of as everyone will gather up and wait at the entrance that
Before
was
we go,
discovered.
is everybody feeling all
definitely not.
right?
I feel like somebody hit me with a wagon.
Or sorry.
I will put both my hands on Gomni's back, and both of them light up brilliantly blue.
All right,
As
so
I
you
am,
spend 2 mana to heal each of them.
just Gomni.
Just Gomni. Okay.
You take
I think
20
Gabi's a lot
HP.
worse than sorry.
And he was like, "Nah, I'm not healing that one." Um, and you feel a draw to
I'm
that
going to
stone.
life tap again, as once again.
Wow, the audio cut
Marcus
in from you.
keeps cutting out.
And I begin
Yeah.
to bleed out of
Like so much.
So you channel your life tap as blood runs down your
my mouth.
frame, congealing into arcane power that you draw from. Sorry to take over your description there. It's just you're cutting out a little bit, and I wanted to make sure it was given the description it deserved as your energy was recharged. And as we're gathering here, you do see Sari licking at wounds on her leg, kind of looking hopefully at you and Andrew. You, Pack, and Andrew, I should say.
Oh, I walk over to Pack, use the last bit of mana, and place my hand on his head.
All right. So you give him an affectionate pat charged with healing magic. Go ahead and roll your heal, and take off your
9 health.
mana.
Yep.
Are there any more charges in that stone for you?
I don't know. I pull out the shiny.
So you pull out the shiny, and you get that same pulling sensation as before, as the gem is completely empty, faded with luster, as you recharge 3 points of mana.
Oh, I think shiny out.
All right. You're unsure of a way to charge it personally, but if anyone in the party wants to give a knowledge arcana, can absolutely do that.
Alright. I will do
Now that
it.
you have a baseline of what it is. All right. So less than stellar roll. As you're not quite sure of a method to recharge it, but I believe it was Marcus who was familiar with these in the first place. So Marcus, if you want to give me a knowledge arcana. If you could hear me there, Marcus. Okay, yep, perfect.
Yeah, I can roll.
All right. 19, perfect. So you'll get some more information on them. You know these are considered a mage's best friend because preparation is key. However, charging them is rather inefficient as it requires, even for a master, almost double investment to get 1 point out. So for every 3 mana for someone untrained in their use, 1 mana is stored in the stone. It looks like this stone's cap is 8 mana.
Once we get out of here and we get a chance to rest and recover, I'll be able to heal that for you again. But right now, it would take too much out of me.
All right.
There's Pack understand.
Okay. All right. Then the stone is currently drained. So add. Let's see. Its classification is white. So white mana stone to your inventory, and mark that it is empty at the moment.
Yep.
0 out of 8. All right. So you stand before this ladder that seems to go up maybe 20, 30 feet, up into daylight. Looks like, or at least light up ahead.
Domni will be the first one to hit up.
Well, she ran back to the surface. Do we want to check the rest of this room before we go on? They might have left a clue or something else down here.
Pack one fight. You can check.
Fine. After you.
All right. So as you follow the rather sweaty dwarf, as it's hot here in the Alliance, as much of Eridar seems to be covered in that plate mail is not doing him any favors, as he climbs this ladder with little to no trouble, as a lot of you do. As you look around once you get up above the ladder here, you realize you're in some kind of storeroom of sorts. A number of weapons line the walls, axes, bows, chains, javelins, nets, tridents, bidents. It seems to be a veritable arsenal available here. And roll me perception, all of you.
23.
23,
Um,
19,
18.
18. Got a lot of people who are good at perception in this party. That's a good thing.
One second.
And one from Gomni.
Yep. One moment.
All right. As we're waiting for that one, you will notice traces of blood that almost seems to fade away as it gets closer towards a door. And you'll hear a number of footsteps and what sounds like distinctly Pack, you can hear this. Maybe yep, just Pack. Maybe cheering of a crowd of some kind and clangs of steel.
Oh boy, Pack here, lots of people.
And then let's see, the rest of you will also hear footsteps coming closer to the door here.
Be ready. It looks like they're coming. Is
Ah.
all I hear is footsteps.
Mm-hmm. As the door opens and it gets thrown back, before it quite opens, are you guys trying to hide out of sight? There's a couple of little walls you can press yourself against, or are you just readying yourselves for whatever comes through that door?
I'm just
Is
readying
there any
myself.
way I can hide above the door?
It doesn't look like it. With how the stairs are angled, there's no real place to hold yourself up, and your wingspan couldn't quite cover it with it being any meaningful way of cover.
Okay, well then I will press myself into a corner.
All right, so you press yourself against the corner. Does anyone else, or are the rest of you standing, giving Pack kind of
I'm gonna hide.
Okay.
If everybody else goes to hide, then I'll hide.
All right.
I just hide behind my own shield.
Well, it doesn't seem to matter. As Pack trips over what he realizes as mid-fall was a long spear on the ground and crashes into a weapon rack. Won't take any damage, luckily enough, the pointy bits falling away from you, but the door swings open ever faster for it. What the hells? As he looks as a dragonborn, scarred and grizzled and muscled all over the place. Looks down at your ragtag band here, bloodied from combat. What the? How did you even get? Are you with the house?
Did you see the redhead lady?
Did you see a redheaded woman pass?
No, but how the hells are you in the arena's armory?
That's not important.
It's pretty damn important to me. As he pulls off a battle axe from his
Look,
back.
we don't want any problems with you. We're chasing a brigand. Can you tell us whether she passed through here or not? Obviously, she had access to here, which is something you should be more concerned with.
Redheaded lass? As he gets a wistful look on his face. Go ahead and roll me Knowledge Arcana, those who have it. Actually, Andrew, you would already know this. So it looks like he's been charmed. Particularly the brand of charm you have access to very rarely. As he kind of wistfully murmurs to himself, "Ah, the firecracker. Stole my breath away, she did. And that's coming from me," as he pats his and breathes out a little snort of flame. "What do you want with her?" Scarlet, what a beautiful name. As he has that glassy eye of a charmed individual on his face.
Where'd she go?
She didn't really mention, but are you wait, as he shakes out some of the cloudiness. That doesn't explain how you all got to the armory. And what does
We've
Scarlet
been
have to
here.
do with that?
She broke into your armory. We followed her.
Scarlet, we've been friends for. As he kind of wrestles with the charm, the cloud filtering over his eyes before it finally clears. I'm gonna be fired. She said she was going to meet with some of her friends and that at a bar I could come by later. The Gilded Silver or something like that.
So, because a woman flirted with you and batted her eyes at you a bit, you just let her get by with whatever she wanted.
I suppose, this specific charm, they don't realize they've been charmed after. She really was quite a woman, though. Besides, that doesn't excuse you all chasing her after into my armory of sorts. Now
Look
get the
down
hell
the
out! As he gestures towards the door with his battle axe. I'll be walking you out unless you care to pay to fight or care to watch. Besides, the gilded coin or something. That's the best I'm giving you. As he kind of crosses one arm and points towards the door.
Come on, let's go.
As Gomni and I guess not Packback, but Gomni, you'll recognize that place as the bar that you had gone to originally, where you were taking care of these brigands for the barkeep there. Apparently, she's claimed that she's going there to meet some friends.
I will definitely lead them, knowing the way.
All right. So as you get there, a few people, you hear some whisperings as time passes quickly before you end up at the bar. I can't believe what happened to him. I know he'd been having some trouble lately, but that was grotesque. Do you think it was the house? I doubt it. Normally, if they were going to make someone disappear, they wouldn't hang their entrails. As you're overcome with a small sense of dread, Gomni.
Definitely pick up a quicker pace than our already hurried movement.
All right, so you pick up the pace a little bit here. All right. So as you pick up the pace and you get to the bar, um, you see that it's been cordoned off. A few of the guards are preventing people from entry as they kind of give you a cockeyed look. What do you want?
Have you seen a redheaded lass come through here in the last maybe 2-3 minutes?
No, we came to see what all the commotion was about. Apparently, there's been a murder. As he says that,
Who?
a rather gruesome one at that.
Uh, who? Who's the victim?
The patron, well, the bartender, Galron, I think his name was.
Is that the one that hired us?
Aye.
Shit! Now I'm never getting my coin!
As the guard kind of shakes his head. Man's been hung up by his entrails, and you're worried about coins?
I'm not the first person I've seen hung up by their entrails.
Welcome to Freehold, as he rolls his eyes. Maybe, apparently you guys are closer to this than we are. If you want to take a quick look, just, it shouldn't cost you much. As he holds he'll hold out his hand.
Really, lad? You best put that hand away. Murder happens in your city under your guard, and you're concerned about trying to get paid in the pocket?
It wasn't that. I was looking for a writ. I'm assuming you're an investigator. As he seems like, and bribery's kind of par for the course, but I'm new here.
Look, I left my red back.
Your audio cut out there. What did you say?
I left my writ back in my room, okay? But just let us through so that we can take a look. We've been doing a bit of work for this man. And we probably are closer to this than you.
Roll me persuasion.
Persuasion or deception since I'm lying, because I
guess
have no
deception
writ.
because you're lying.
Yes, there's an 8-point difference on that for me.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
15?
So with a 15, let's see if his insight can keep up. No. All right. So he kind of mulls it over for a minute, and he's like, "Fine, but I'm taking credit for anything you find. Got to have that documentation with you next time." As he'll kind of lift the iron chains and let you in, and immediately the iron tang of blood assaults your senses, along with a bit of bile. As you look and see, nailed to the wall behind the bar, through his hands and around his neck, are entrails and daggers. And from the look in his eyes, he didn't die quickly.
So, I got a question.
Sure.
There was a reason I've been smelling everywhere we've went this entire time, and I smelled to see where, like, which direction, like, she was last in this bar.
Okay. So go ahead and try. It will be considerably difficult given what her innate
Okay.
smell is and the smell of the surrounding area.
Okay.
Andrew, why don't you wait outside?
18.
Okay.
All right, so Andrew, you'll step out near the guard, kind of a little pale. So with that 18, originally you know she smelled like rather on the nose, roses and blood, and now all you're smelling is blood. Blood everywhere, under the counters, the walls, just an obnoxious amount, almost unusual for the circumstances, smell of blood assaulting you.
Do I see any footprints?
You do not actually at all, thank you for asking. You don't see any footprints on the floor or the walls.
Hmm.
But if you want to roll for another perception, there's one place
Sorry.
you weren't looking.
Why don't you take a look around and tell me if you notice anything, girl?
Okay. Have sorry roll, in fact. That makes a little more sense.
Oh. Sorry.
You're good. Have sorry roll that.
Let me see. Okay. $14.
All right. So with a 14, Sorry does what she normally does. There's a sniffs and kind of looks up before she cocks her head at the ceiling.
Where specifically at the ceiling?
So as you look up, it's fairly obvious. There's a trail of what looks to be bloody footprints on the ceiling, leading over to this bartender. And how the bar was emptied for this to occur still kind of leaves you reeling.
That's fucking disgusting. And horrifying that someone could... She has the power to walk on ceilings like that. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Do you
Not
say
in
this to
my
one of the
100
guards?
years.
Just to both Gomni and Pack, who are both standing here.
Okay.
Not in my 100 years have I ever seen shit like this.
The guard will kind of mention with that critical on his perception to hear you. As best we can tell, some spider climb of some kind, maybe a boots, magic, something like that. But impressive, it only took you 3 minutes to look up. As he turns back to his post. So as best he can tell, there's some kind of magic, either item or spell that was used here. As Gomni, you recall, there was a blue potion at her side as well.
Right. If I remember recalling too, in the basement of this place was that hallway that led to something that belonged to this crew as well. I don't say anything to the out loud as fear of the guard hearing, but just kind of make a motion to Marcus and kind of point underneath feet.
So you point towards the cellar back area, and you recall that was where that paralysis arrow was that led you down into the original tunnel where you had found Pack.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. I recognize what he's talking about, but I thought that wrapped all the way back around to where we just were.
So it seems as though they had dug a separate tunnel from their original base under the arena towards the iron forge, and this was a separate hideout of sorts. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So the area was under the arena. They had dug a tunnel over to the blacksmith. This is a separate hideout, not connected to those chain of tunnels.
All right. As I kind of nod to him, and I'll go over and open the door. All right, Andrew. Cover your eyes. We're going to be walking through here.
I look up at the ceiling and I'm trying to see if those bloody footprints end right over the cellar or not.
So the bloody footprints seem to end over the top of the bar.
And they don't go off anywhere else?
No.
Okay.
Which is strange if you think about it.
I'm going to go study behind the bar.
Okay, so you kind of look around behind the bar. You see what looks like a broken sword that that has a little bit of blood on the hilt, as though he tried to grab it as she had dropped down on him. And a little bit further back, you see scraps of parchment.
I pick up the parchment.
All right, so you pocket the parchment. Do you speak Draconic?
I do not.
Then for you, it looks like unintelligible scratches, but you have this parchment with you.
I kind of like hold it up, and is Andrew in the room?
I just asked him to come back in. Andrew, cover your eyes, and we're going to be walking through here.
All right.
If he's gonna be in a fight,
I'm gonna cover my eyes.
might as well get used to it, lad.
There's a difference between seeing a dead body and seeing someone's entrails hanging out from their stomach.
I walk over to Andrew. I'm like, you know a lot. Can you read whatever this is to Pack Pack?
I'm gonna
As
I'm gonna grab it from Pack Pack.
so you open your eyes.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm
Go,
gonna have to open my eyes.
go ahead and give
Did
me a
that?
will save.
I gotta find it. Where is it? Oh, found it.
All right, so you managed to keep the bile down, looking over the bartender's frame, seeing the deep cuts in his wrist as he's been impaled and the entrails that he was almost strangled with, hanging loosely before you refocus yourself on the paper that Pack Pack had handed you. Um, you recognize the writing as Draconic. Is that a language you know?
Give me 1 second. I'll be able to tell you. Dum. It is not. I know Marcher, Dorvin, Pictar, and
So you
Drac.
might have seen a few of these runes before, but nothing that you could translate well. But you do recognize it as Draconic runes.
Who
Pack
know
Pack
this
it was? I
gibberish?
do not know. Uh, I'm not sure.
Somebody know this gibberish, and I'll just
What
tuck
is
it
it?
back in my pocket.
But that it is dragon. You said dragonborn, right?
Draconic. It's a language that the
Draconic.
Dragonborn are aware
Draconic.
of.
It's a
Uh,
language the dragonborn. It's draconic.
it's not a language I speak. How about you, Gomni?
No, I've never seen this. Like,
I'll have to find someone around here. I mean, there's plenty of Dragonborn in the Freehold. We'll be able to find someone to translate it for us that's trustworthy.
there's always that confused idiot back at the arena.
As you recall from some of your fair, as you recall some of the traveling companions from your caravan, you recall that Hawk and Light actually does speak pretty fluent Draconic. It's what he had used to speak with the guards upon entry.
Well, there we go. We can have Hawken take a look at it.
So what do you
Do we
intend to
want
do at this
to?
point? Sorry, go ahead.
Do we? Oh, I was just gonna say, want to explore or go Hawk and Light?
Let's explore.
So you'll head back into the cellar here, and as you enter, I do need a quick reflex save from whoever went first.
I think we've pretty much well established that Gomni goes first everywhere.
Yeah, I figured, but Gomni, go ahead and give me a reflex save. Do add in your bonus as it is a magical trap. Okay, so your bonus would put you at what, a 20, I believe?
The spell resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah. Dwarven racial magic saves
it'd be
increase
a
dex magic.
additional +2 on top of that, so a 20.
Alright, so you'll take half damage as a swift bolt of lightning seems to come out of the floor itself. As you take 6 points of damage.
Oh, new trap.
And
Ooh, that means somebody's been here recently.
as you look down, you see a bloody rune fade, whereas before it may have been glowing.
Oh, blood. She close.
As you look further throughout this area, you see a few more of these exact same runes leading towards the hidden entrance you had saw before.
So
Is there
I
any
am
way
going to be
to
tiptoeing around the room.
Sorry, both of you were talking? What was that?
I was going to tiptoe around the runes.
Alright, so you try to tiptoe around the runes, and as you step to the right of one of them, you realize as ink appears next to it. Give me a reflex save.
Do. 25.
Alright, so you'll take half damage as well. That'll be 4 points of damage. As you look around, you realize when you lift your foot up and get out of the way, the ink stays before slowly disappearing, as though it's reacting to the heat, as this ink appeared with your heat and disappears when it returns to room temperature.
I turn around and I look at Marcus. I'm like, fire.
As flame kind of appears at the tips of my fingers as I run them over the paper.
Okay. So you'll see runes appearing on each side of the bloody ones, as though she was really thorough given the speed she put these traps down, made of invisible ink and blood to draw, thinking people could sneak around them. Maybe 7 in total that are still active anyway.
And what runes do I recognize these runes?
They are written in Draconic.
And so how are they laid out? Can you run me through that again? I'm trying to.
Sure. So there are 2 blood runes still active, one triggered by Gomni, and one invisible rune triggered by Pack. So on each side, so left, forward, and right of each bloodied rune leading towards the cellar, there are invisible traps.
Well, she's certainly taken her time setting this up. Would
Hit
there be
with
any way to
fire.
trigger them remotely?
It seemed as though they went off on a pressure and heat base, so more than likely easily done. Even a torch would be able
Oh.
to set them off.
How would this go? Could I feasibly try to run through here ahead of the traps, or like roll through here ahead of the traps?
Now that you're aware of where their locations are, if you pass the reflex save, you will avoid taking damage entirely. So anybody who's confident in
fine.
their reflex save.
Oh, I'll do it.
So
You want to do it?
Yep, I'll just charge forward.
Okay.
so go ahead and give me a couple of reflex saves here. All right, pass. Critical failure. You're gonna take full from that. I won't do double.
How many more do you want?
Let's see. You've rolled 3. You've passed 2. Take 8 damage first.
Yep.
You need to give me. Let's see. To get to the cellar, you'd only need to trigger 2 more. Okay. So 2 more reflex saves.
22
Pass. Pass.
and 21.
All right. So in an absolute racket of lightning and flame, as he bursts his way through these traps, scorching himself on one of them, but getting through relatively okay, as he stands at the secret entrance to that underground cavern here.
I place one hand over the burn scar and blue light comes out.
All right. So you mend
Well,
yourself a little bit.
That's one way to trigger all the traps. Because I just kind of stroll down aimlessly, like, all right, well, I guess we're clear now, Gomni. Andrew, come on, sorry.
As Sari looks at you, and regardless of facial expressions or meaningful communication, you get a what the fuck vibe from Sari. Before she'll carefully follow in the footsteps of Marcus. As
Don't worry, he already triggered all the traps.
she looks at you as if to say not all of them necessarily, all that we saw. As you get to the cellar, all of you relatively unharmed, not triggering any additional traps at this point, as the cellar is currently closed.
I
You
know go
open it.
first.
Gomni, try the door.
Oh yeah, make me try the door. Yeah, I'll try.
Well, I was just say I can search. I should probably search it to see if it's trapped first, considering how the hallway was trapped.
Pack, make mad dash. You open door.
All right, that
Critical on the perception.
So
That's like 3 today.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot more crits today. So as you're looking around, checking very thoroughly this time, given Vanessa's paranoid nature, as you look around, you do see the thinnest, maybe a hair's width, tripwire on the latch itself that feeds up and over behind the shelving here, where you see a precariously balanced bottle of alchemist fire. Relatively
Okay.
easy to undo
Can I
now
just
that you
try
see it.
to?
Yep.
Okay, I'll try to do that.
All right.
17.
Perfect. So it's pretty easy now that you've spotted it. The difficulty of this trap is how hard it is to see, given how thin the metal wire is. But you disarm it very easily, and you can pocket this bottle of alchemist fire if you so inclined.
Oh, yes, I am inclined. As I just turned to Gomni, it's a good thing I checked, huh? As I kind of wiggle the bottle of alchemist fire before sticking it in my pocket.
You do that, and it vibrates a little bit.
Gumby just gives him a little bit of a gruff grunt.
All right. As the door opens without any fuss, looking down into these somewhat familiar depths, do you choose to descend, assuming standard party order here?
Yes, I'm in the back.
Yep.
All right, so as you all descend, this is where we're going to go ahead and stop here, as we'll be getting into the meat and potatoes of this little side content. So we'll be doing that on our next session here. We're ending a little bit early, I do apologize for that, but I don't see us getting to a better stopping point than right here. All right. I want to thank every single person who came to watch us today. It's really great. BDE, if it's BD, I'm sorry. Thank you very much for the follow and the subscriptions. Really awesome to see. And it looks like Chandy. Oh gosh, Chandy Stislow. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, but thank you for following as well. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, I'm an epic in the chat. Imagine being a commoner and watching some dude run through lightning just to get loot. Yeah, that's about how most D&D adventures go. But I want to thank everybody for coming to watch this. Really appreciate it. And our next stream will be on Monday for another episode of The Fall of Illidan, ran by
Yep.
Zoltar, Marcus, however you want to address him.
We will have some gaming streams this week. I know we're stopping a little bit early, but me and Gunfire are both pretty sick today. We almost didn't stream at all, but we wanted to tough it out. Make sure you stick around for the raid at the end of the stream so that way you get some extra points. But just a few admin notes. We'll have a few gaming streams this week, so go ahead and tune in for those. We're also doing a giveaway of a copy of Candlekeep Mysteries. That's the new book launched by Wizards of the Coast. So we're going to announce that next week on this channel live on stream. So if you want to enter and get a free copy of Candlekeep Mysteries, just make sure that you go onto our Twitter page. Make sure that you make sure you go onto our Twitter page. Make sure you follow the instructions as to how to enter, so that way you can get your free copy.
Absolutely. Looks like we have one vote for Pack Pack as the MVP tonight. So congratulations, Pack Pack. And Epic, thanks again for redeeming the really awful Pack Pack attack. When you introduced this character to me, I was a bit skeptical at first. But it's nice to see that that was claimed. All right. Well, this will go ahead and wrap up our second episode of Ruin of the Old World, and we're going to go ahead and start that raid here in just a minute, okay?
All right, and then so we'll go ahead and get that going.
And don't worry, we're not sick with COVID or anything. So we should be A-okay. Yeah. Hey.
All right.
I know my laughs sound like coughs. Leave me alone.
All right, let's find a streamer to raid.
I'm still waiting for the day that somebody racks up enough channel points to pull the demonic infernal intervention or divine intervention. I'm just waiting for those days. Hopefully you guys don't redeem it for the first time on my day, but knowing Big Brain Girl, it'll probably happen that way.
Just a moment. We were gonna raid someone that we know, but they just went offline. So we'll grab a D&D streamer close to us.
Epic was going to, but we bumped it up, so I gave up. Yeah, we realized that it was going to happen really, really early, and we want that to be, a very clip-worthy moment. So we decided to delay it a little bit here, give us a more opportune moment besides the moment that it's possible to redeem, getting redeemed.
All right, guys, I've got the raid up. Go ahead and feel free to join and get some extra channel points. We appreciate all of you guys jumping in. Love to have you with us. We're excited. We're glad to see the engagement we've gotten from the community. I'll be streaming my playthrough tomorrow of Final Fantasy VII and probably Friday as well. And then me and Gunfire will be back on Sunday with our new DM's Play stream. So with that, thanks for everybody for being here, and we're going to go ahead and drop that raid.
All right. See everybody.
100%. I have